So the webinar here is called Avenue Question Banks Demystified. And really, I think question banks for Avenue, a lot of people don't have to deal with them because they don't have a lot of quizzes. Maybe they're using H5Ps. Maybe they're not using quizzes at all. Maybe they're just using a few quizzes that come with the PBLA modules. However, it's a good thing to know the basics and some of the idiosyncrasies of the question banks. So just give me a sec. All right, so here we are. We're at Avenue talking about question banks. So the session outline, some of the portions of this are a continuation of last week's webinar, speeding up your Avenue courses, which was a lot of fun. It's really to the end of the session, we'll be talking about those issues. We're going to talk about potential issues or idiosyncrasies of question banks and quizzes and questions on Avenue, and I'm not covering everything, but we'll get through it. Some of the basics we'll be covering. A lot of the issues I've detailed with step-by-step pathways throughout this handout. I'm going to be starting on page 2 in a second. Throughout this, we'll be talking about good practices of setting up and good practices of leveraging question banks in Avenue during the term. You can ask questions during the whole thing. I did send the file. Do you want me to send it again? Sure.
Yeah, I don't think anybody got the file, John.
No?
No.
Okay, I'll send it again. Oh, now
it's
loading. Okay. I apologize. The file looks something like you'd see something like this. Okay, so this is all garbage here. I didn't get a chance to fix that up. But essentially here, we're going to be starting at page 2. I'll be walking through this. So I'm organizing the webinar. And you'll see that there's a lot of steps in here for different aspects of the question bank. Okay, can you see it in the chat window now? The document?
Yes, thanks, John.
Oh, excellent. So I think it'll be easy to open it up because it's a PDF, right? I hope.
Yep.
All right. So just be advised, I'll be sending a revised, clean version tomorrow afternoon to anybody who's on the registration list. Okay, so this is a continuation of last week's webinar. This webinar was inspired by last week's because the question bank sharing cart block and the mass actions block are really important considerations when managing your courses in Avenue. It's the most important part of managing Avenue courses. So when we're thinking about the question bank itself, it's a bank of questions that's sitting somewhere on Avenue, and these are related directly to your course. So if you got course 1, it has its own question bank. If you've got course 2, you got your own question bank. The whole concept of the early days where we had one gigantic question bank and everybody dipped into it doesn't really apply to teachers. So say if you see a category and you delete it on your course, you're only going to delete it for your course. You're not going to delete it for the whole system. So you won't be deleting the PBLA master or anything like that. So the question banks we're talking about here are the question banks for your course. So the health of your question bank is very important for your course. If you're going to run it for multiple terms, and if you want Avenue editing speed and better performance for your students. So the first thing you have to look at is how many questions you have. Do you have too many questions? And that's like over 1,000. Do you have too many categories? Do you have duplicate questions threaded all throughout? Did you copy them and they're all over the place? Which means you have redundant questions, or you have redundant questions that are in your question bank and you can't figure out how they got there or why they're there. Do you have unorganized categories like most people often do? They start off with good intentions and then all of a sudden questions are all over the place. That is one of the biggest challenges even for developers that are working on a team, to make sure that questions are categorized and organized and named in common fashions so that they can locate them easier in the future to manipulate them or duplicate them. Are your categories and questions randomly named? Do they make any sense how they are? Like, we had a big, my last college, we had a huge problem. Once COVID hit, everybody was calling question one, or Q1, or one. And on the D2L system, we were overwriting everybody's things, like especially if we had multiple people on one course. So that it's really important to really consider your names, the names of your questions. Avenue question banks allow teachers to, number one, create questions, duplicate questions, preview and edit questions, set question point values, enable randomization of questions, and reuse questions in multiple quizzes. Now that's a lot of good things, right? And you're probably thinking, well, when I made that quiz or those quizzes, I could do some of those things. And that shows you that you're already using the question bank without even thinking about it. It also has analytical features. I'm sure a lot of us haven't looked at that, or unless you're a coordinator or a manager, or if you have a quiz that nobody's getting questions 8 and 10, you want to look around, you can use the analysis features. I'm not going into that today, but they exist. You can set question permissions. And then the big one is manage question categories. You can import and export questions to and from external sources like, I don't know, a college in Banff or something like that. And you can also import and export questions to and from Avenue courses when you have these shared courses. So Avenue question banks, the organization is, questions are organized into categories. Now, everybody knows what a category is. So you can have a parent category and you can have child categories, or there's all sorts of different terminology for it, but you can have top categories and you have lower and lower subcategories. You can call them nested or subcategories. Each course comes with a default category. Okay, so you have a default category and it has the short name of your course in it. All the other categories rest under that if you make them or import them. By organizing your categories, it leads to faster access for the server and the service for your students and for you. It allows you to share questions much faster and much more efficiently. It avoids duplication of questions across your course, and it reduces a lot of inauthentic labor. Saves you a lot of time. That's if you're going to really get into the course and use it and manipulate it. So the first thing we're going to look at here. Okay, sorry. I'm going to go to the handout. I'm not sure if you can see the handout right now. On page 2 of the handout where it says potential issues, do you see the screen grab of the section of the question bank? Default for link 5, PC 24, new 202222. And then all of those defaults and questions and all of that. If you see those are, yeah, thank you. Those are, that's what my course bank looked like when I looked at one of my courses. It's a disaster. And I'll explain how it got there. Page 3 of the handout. That's just a summary of that slide. And here we go. What we're gonna do now is we're just gonna go into, I've just set up a blank course here. Now, the idea is backwards actually when you're making your quizzes for your students. Normally what you do is you make the quiz first, and then you add the questions and then manipulate the questions. When you're using a question bank to set up a question bank efficiently on a new course. Now, this is a brand new course with nothing in it. I'll show you the question bank itself. So if I go to the cog menu, I go down to more, and then there's a course administration page. Might look a little different than yours. And if I click on categories, oh, it imported the other ones. Oh boy. Okay, so here are some categories. Now, these were inherited in the past to my account. I can't get rid of these. But for this course here, and that's something I'm looking into with our top technician to see if we can have those cleared out for teachers. But my course name is JAQB3. And you'll see that the question bank here, when I went into the question bank categories, these are my categories, right? Those other categories are just like junk from the past. I hope you don't have those as I have them. So if I want to, that's my top parent default category. So if I want to add another category, I could add topic quizzes, say, for example, topics quizzes. I could put some information here if I wanted to, but now this is going to be a child or a subcategory of the parent category. If I click on category, here you go. This is, don't want to pay attention to this, but here it is here. Here's my new category, topics quizzes. And as you can see here, I'm in the categories, I'm in the categories tab, and I have one default category, and I have one category I've made. I can delete it, edit it, or move it around. So what the idea is when you're setting up a course, if you're setting up a course, you would do a few of these. So I'm going to make another one under the default. I'm going to call this one, that was topics. I'm going to say assessment quizzes, say, and I'll click on category here. So I have the assessment quizzes category for my quizzes and topics quizzes. And then I'll add one more. So I go back down to add category. I'll go to optional quizzes. Say, so here I have, this is my question bank for this course. I have my default, which is the top, and I have 3 general areas here. This is outlined on page 4 and 5 and part of 5 on the handout. Do you notice the zeros here? That means there are no questions inside of these categories. Okay, so right now we're only working with categories. I'm going to make a subcategory of my topics quizzes here. Okay, so each topic I want to have a category for, because I might have multiple quizzes in the topic. So to do that, under add category, I changed the parent from default to topics. And then I'm just going to do topic 1 quizzes. I'm going to add that. And as you can see, now this is, even though this is the parent of the whole course, and these are the children or the subcategories, underneath this one, topics quizzes, is now a subcategory, right? So I'm going to do another one. I'm going to add, make sure I have the correct parent, which is topic quizzes. Then I'm going to add topic 2 quizzes. And I'm going to add one more, make sure my parent category is correct. I'll go to topic quizzes and topic 3 quizzes. I know this is boring stuff, but you can see what we do is we build the structure first, and then we populate them. So that is covered on pages 4, 5, and you'll see on page 6, you'll see here, this is like a more complete question bank, course question bank. So there's a default, which is the parent. This is another category, but this category here is the parent of these ones, or the subcategories. And this is just a first level child category from the default. And this is another subcategory with more subcategories under it. So everything is structured. So these are all the assessments, the summative assessments, the quiz. So you could say the formative topic question assessments. And this one is a quiz for orientation, a category for core orientation. So that I have something similar to there that I've built. So now that you have these, we are still in the question bank, right? Now that you have these, you can go over here to this tab here. It's called questions. And once you're in here, you just select a category that you want to put a question in. And so let's go to topic 1, say, for example, topic 1 quizzes. So we're in the category topic 1, and then we're going to create a question. And just like every other quiz you make, you can just choose a type. Okay, see you, Sandra. Click add. And then you're going to have to put a question name. I normally type in the short course name, what it is, and where it's located, and 01 for question 1. So that's just the way I name them, but I always name them uniquely. So this is the name of the course. It's a quiz. It's in topic 1. It's question 1. And a nation. And no, sorry. Canada is a nation. Then I could say true. I could add more detail here, but I'm not at this time. I'm just going to save changes. So now in topic 1 category, I have my first question. So I can do the same thing again. And I can make another question, true, false. Now I've forgotten what I called it. So JAUB3, oops. It's a quiz. Geez, did I do this right? Did I do it all capitals last time? I can't remember. It's topic 1. I put a 01 there last time, and 02. France is a city, say. And I can make that false and click on Save Changes. So here I go. Well, I got lucky there. But did you see how I had to do all that extra work? A good thing about using the question bank is that you can duplicate questions when you're in the question bank. So here, to make this go faster, I can go edit, and these options pull up. I can preview the quiz. I can add tags or delete, but then I can hit duplicate. And instead of typing in the title, I just change the number. Kansas a province, still false, save. So you can see that you can make, by using the duplicate question feature, you can make questions much faster. And there you go. You have in your question bank, in this category, you have questions. Okay, and these are the ones that you make. So that's a lot of work. That goes for pages 7, 8, 9. Do you see here where I have topic 1 quizzes 4? That means there are 4 questions on this quiz. And oh, I made a mistake. Geez, I should be able to edit it, right? Edit question. Oh, look, I can do that pretty quickly. Oops. Let it load first. And then save changes. And there, I've made a quick edit. So, oh, Bo, yes, how are you?
I just have a quick question, John. So when we're talking about duplicate, we cannot modify the question type, right? For example, like for the 1, 2, 3, 4, we're all duplicated, true and false, right?
That's correct. Yeah, that's
Okay,
absolutely
thank you.
correct. Okay. So on page 10, we're talking about, so imagine you have a question bank that's quite diverse, quite big. Now you have one of the things that I do normally is with LMSs is during the term, I make sure that I know where my questions are, and then I move them to a summative category so that I can use those as a pool for my students to be set up for sort of practice quizzes, or maybe even integrate them to a final assessment like an exam or something. We don't say exams anymore, but do you know what I mean? So you can have 10 of these topics, say 7, and then it's week 8 and you want them to study or have a midterm. So what you can do is you can recycle or reuse these questions in different ways. So one way to do this is choose your top. Let's go back to the categories first. Here's our categories. And I want to add topic 1 questions, my topic 1 questions into my assessment quizzes, okay, for the end of the year. But I'm not sure if you know this. In the Moodle course bank, you can't copy questions. Just copy them and paste them. And the reason is because if you kept on doing that, you would have so many redundancies of questions across courses. It would be very difficult to rectify. So they do this on purpose. So what you do is you're going to go into the source or topic 1 where the questions are. And I want to keep the questions here, right? But I also want them here. So I want to duplicate them. If I click here on edit the category, there it is. Click on questions. Here are my questions. What I do is for each question, I duplicate them. And so I'm going to put, instead of topic 1, I'm going to put sum or summative. Say something like that. I'll get rid of the word copy. Sorry. So I'm going to put summative, but it's the same question. And the original question is here, and the new question is here. So I'm going to do that for all 4 of these. No, hang on, I think I edit there, sorry. Sorry, edit. Not cooperating, duplicate. So instead of topic 1, I'll put summative. That was a bad copy. I'm sorry about that. So I'm just duplicating the questions. Duplicate. Question number 3. Change topic 1 to summative. I'll save that. Didn't save properly. That's my fault. I'm actually rushing this. I'm sorry. I normally would be waiting for a little interval so I can properly load. And question two, why don't you like me? And this is what we want to avoid by having our courses more efficient. It's a dead giveaway that there's an issue happening. Okay, so now I've duplicated the questions that I can use later on for a summative activity. And to just move them over, I'm going to click on this little box here, these check boxes for my summatives. I don't want them in topic 1 quizzes. I want them to be moved to my assessment quizzes. So when I go back to the categories, you'll see that they're only the same 4 questions, but they're now used for 2 different purposes. And as I would go through the topic quizzes, I keep on adding more. And so when I made my quiz in the future, I would have, say, 3 times as many questions, so I could draw them at random and present them in quizzes at random from the different sections. It's kind of an efficiency maker. That's on pages 10 to 13. Okay, so now what we've done is we've opened up the question bank. We've created categories in the question bank, and then we've populated them with some questions. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the course itself, and you can see there's nothing here. I'm going to turn editing on. And as you do for quiz, you would add, we're going to make a quiz now. Add an activity or resource. Click on the quiz. I'm just going to call it topic 1 quiz. No imagination, no description. I'm just going to leave all of these elements set. I'm going to then go to save and display. Then here I am. I'm going to now click on I'm going to edit the topic 1 quiz. There's no questions here. So to add them, I click on edit quiz. Then I click on add from question bank. Now I can see my question bank pop up. I'm going to go into the category topic 1, where I put the questions before. And I'm going to select all of the questions. And I can click on add selected questions to quiz, and there they are. There are 4 questions. I can put maximum grade up here, 4. I can choose shuffle if I want or not. And these are now ready to go for your quiz. I'll click on save. Go back to topic 1. And here's my quiz. Turn editing off. And here's my quiz. And it depends on how you set it up, but that's how it would work. So you can, if you're really organized, you go to the question bank, make the categories, populate the categories, and then go in and select your questions. I know that sounds like a lot of work, but if you're working on, say, a bigger project with other people and everybody knows where everything is, it's really easy just to drag them down. Okay. So, going to look at this because I've had this question quite a bit on the help desk. So if I have a quiz here and I'm a teacher and I want to duplicate it and change it a bit, so I have two quizzes, does this affect the question bank? So right now, this is on page 16. If you click on turn editing on, here's your quiz, and you click on edit, duplicate. I hope a lot of you know that feature, so you can duplicate resources and activities. And then, of course, you'd have to rename it to something else. I'll call it 1B, so it doesn't look like a copy. So the quizzes are exactly the same. Okay. If I go to the quiz, you know what the quiz sort of looks like. It has the same 4 questions. Okay. So that's easy. The quiz looks the same. You might want to change or delete a question or whatever. But what if we go into the question bank and see what's happening there? If I duplicated this, does it make more memory? Does it take more memory from my course? So I'm going to go into the question bank, categories. And as you can see here, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't add any more memory usage to your course at all. It only references the same 4 questions. So if you duplicate a quiz on your course, it's not making your course bigger. It's just pointing back to the same questions. Okay. I'm on page 17 at the moment. Okay, so if we don't use the question bank to make questions, what happens? I'm going to turn that off. Okay, so I'll start here. Here we are. I'm going to turn editing on. I'm going to add another quiz to the course. Quiz. Test. Let's call it test, and it didn't like that. Test. No description. So I've just made the shell of a quiz. And this time I'm not going to use the question bank. I'm going to click on edit quiz. And when I click on add at this point, I can click on from question bank, but this time I'm going to click on I'm going to make a new question. So if I make a new question, it's just like making a question. And here's where the question bank comes in. It wants you to give it a category. It wants you to associate it with a category. If not, it will sit here. And if you do a lot of these, this is what a lot of teachers do. Lots of their questions go into the top parent category, and it makes no sense. It's just like, there's no way to detangle that later on. So a good idea is to make it say here, select a category, be intentional and select a category. I don't know, something like that. Words are heavy. Of course, that's true. Save changes. And that's my question. So you could make more and more questions. And that's if you just make the question itself, the question bank forces you more or less to choose a category, or you should choose a category. And then the question goes into the category that you chose. So that's what happens with questions that you make. Page 18 says, Does deleting a course quiz affect the question bank? Okay, let's test that out. So if I delete both of these quizzes. Okay, so I'm going to delete all of the quizzes. So my course is empty of quizzes. If I go to the question bank, then look in the categories. No, the questions stay there. You have to intentionally delete questions in the question bank to remove them from your course. On page 19. So on page 19, when I came to my courses at the beginning of the term when we were going with the new system in September, a lot of them look like this. This is a course that has no relation to mine. It's just a default. I can't get rid of it. This is one I could get rid of. I did. I get, this is from another course, another course, another course, another course. And a lot of these don't have anything to do with my course. And I'm gonna have to rush here to get you through this, but I'll show you why. The issue is the sharing cart block. Okay. Maybe I'll do it here. It'll be faster. Is everybody familiar with the sharing cart block and what it does? Or is there anybody who doesn't need the sharing cart block? Doesn't know what it is. Everybody knows? Yeah. Yeah, the sharing cart block, essentially what it does is if you are a teacher on course A, source course, and course B, destination course, you can move content from one course to another. A really good use of this in the Avenue system I've seen is really, really great is organizations have a shared course where they'll put up their exemplars and their good practices and all that. Every teacher is a teacher on that course, so they can move elements back and forth from their other courses. It's really efficient. It works fantastic, except for questions. If you move one quiz with one question over to another course, it will drag the whole question bank from the source course. Now imagine if you're working with a bunch of teachers and they've shared back and forth on a shared course. That shared course probably has a gigantic question bank database. So that's one thing we want you to avoid. For quizzes, do not move any of them over through the sharing cart. And because it's getting later, that's where all my nightmares came from. And I just wanted to reiterate, if you bring default categories in from other courses, they also are impossible to remove. Also, the mass actions block has the same issue. If you use the mass actions block to move a topic with a quiz onto another course that's yours, it will drag all the question bank. So imagine how much that weight that puts on your course, and you don't even know it's happening. Okay, hang on. Sorry. Okay. So is there a solution to this? Yes, there is. It's using the import-export quiz questions from teacher, and they're right here beside the questions and categories on your question bank. You can import questions from another course. Now, you don't have to know all of the details here, but it is spelled out on pages 23, and there's an alternate version called export import, but we're just going to do this one, the import. They both do the same thing. So essentially what you want to do is you want to find out, you want another course. So you want to choose, I should say import only. I'll fix that. So I'm on a course that I want to bring something in, a quiz or questions from another course. always choose Moodle XML format because that's how they're treated on our Avenue system. Then you have to choose a file. Oh, shoot. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Sorry, I'm gonna go back to my other course. Sorry, folks. So I'll get a source course and I'll export a quiz from here. Click on here. Go to more. I go to export from here. I'm going to choose the Moodle XML format. And then I'm going to choose sorry, I have to find out where the topic, the quiz is. Oh no, I moved it. Okay, topic 1. Sorry. Here. Export Moodle XML. And do you see what happens here? I've got so much junk in my system here in my question bank. I can't even locate my quiz. So I'll just choose this one. I'm going to export it to a file. And the file appears up here. It appears on my hard drive. The reason why I'm talking about the import-export or the export-import process is that when you bring a quiz over from another question bank onto your course or questions, it doesn't bring the whole question bank with it. This is the way you should be doing this. Okay, now it's downloaded here. Oh, is it? Or did it fail? No, it's there. Okay. Now I got to go to the other course. And I'm going to choose Moodle XML, choose the file from my downloads, I guess. There it is. That's the file I downloaded, the XML file. And I'm going to upload the file to my course. Well, no, we're on page 24, I think, unless I sent you the wrong PDF. We're on this page. So this should be going faster than it is. I'm uploading the XML file. XML files are just text-based, so that there's not a lot there to no movies or no images. This should be going a lot faster. Unless they had a large video embedded in this file, in this quiz. I'm going to try it again. This one worked really quickly this afternoon. Oh no, look at that. Isn't that lovely? And as technology does, it does. Okay, so essentially what would happen is if you import this file, if you imported this, it actually comes out to into your destination courses question bank in the category that you defined. Okay, so that's it. Are there any questions? If there are, can you use your microphone? I do promise you that the handout will be refined for tomorrow. And just use the import export if you can, if you're going to do that in the future. When the courses arrive with your e-units, they already have a fairly full question bank. Yes, Bonnie.
First of all, thanks for that. Unfortunately, I had a new course and I put in 2 tests, 2 quizzes, and now oh my God, I just filled up that course.
Right.
Well, not that new. I got it in the summer, but I wish I had known this before. When you were doing the copy a quiz section, if we make changes to a question in that copy quiz, it changes the questions in the original quiz, correct?
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
So the only way of getting around that is to duplicate said questions in the question bank
And put them in a new category.
and put them in a new category,
Yeah.
correct? Okay.
Yes.
That's
Can I just want to show you guys one more thing. Geez. Because this is kind of important. If you have the inkling to go in and fix your question bank, which I wouldn't recommend. I would actually, if you really want to be super duper efficient, maybe it would be a good idea. Let me go to a course that I don't care about really. Let's see. So what you want to do is, if I'm just going to show you how to do it, but I would recommend starting fresh with a new course, because it's a lot of work if you have a lot of legacy elements in your question bank. I hope I have a really unruly one here. I'm hoping. Gosh, my computer's slow. Okay, so I have one here. There's all sorts of stuff, right? I don't even know what this is, but this is what you would do. You take a category, and you can't delete it because it's got 7 questions. So what you have to do is you have to edit the category. It should be in the handouts. And you go to the questions. This is something you don't want anymore, right? Talking about a neighborhood problem. So what you want to do is, that's crazy. It should be toggling the whole list. Come on, please work with me. And do you see how all of this I don't use? I don't even know what it is. So what you do is you have to delete all of these. And okay, please let me do it. Oh, there you go. So with that, I'm going to delete all of the content here. I'm going to confirm it. How come okay, can't see the record button. I hope it's still working. So now all of the questions are gone. If I go back, if there's anything with 0, I can delete the category successfully. If there's a question in there, I can't. Okay, so it deleted the category. So you can see that this would take you a long time to clean up. My advice is really reconsider your course, maybe for January, and maybe start fresh with some new e-units and try to avoid using the mass actions block and the sharing cart with questions. That's basically the bottom line. Are there any more questions? Okay, thanks everybody for coming. Okay, thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Expect a handout sent to all of you tomorrow. Thank you. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you,
Okay.
John.
Okay,
Have a good day. Bye.
cheers. Bye.
Great session. Thanks.
Thanks.